Morning, folks. I'm with Brett Cummings today from Decked Out Jon Boats, and it is a very chilly 39 degrees all of a sudden.
Yeah, definitely low visibility out here on the lake. Got a little fog in the fall, and we're gonna see if we can catch some.
How many different electric-only lakes we got here in Georgia? Any idea?
I would say north of 20 that we fish here around locally, between the smaller ones that we can't have tournaments on and the bigger ones that, you know, high voltage competes on.
Right.
We do have quite a large electric only community here in Georgia. A lot of the lakes around are water supply lakes. They do not allow any gas motors, gas tanks. There's one lake that even went as far as putting no electric RC boats on the side. So they are definitely trying to keep the drinking water clean. And that's really how the electric only thing got started in Georgia. They want to keep the waters clean, keep the gas and pollutants out of the water. So we really didn't have a choice between going electric only fishing, unless we want to go fish the big lakes. And they get so much pressure and boat traffic that I did that for a while and started fishing the electric only thing again. And the more time I spent on these waters with all the jet skis, the ski boats, the wake boats, houseboats, ocean going vessels, the more I realized that I missed it. And that's really how Decked Out Jon Boats got started. When I came back, when I started back in '96, I decked out my first boat. It was a 1236. I did it in 3/4 plywood and 2x4s, and that thing was so heavy that I couldn't pick it up. And so I started Decked Out Jon Boats where people wouldn't make that same mistake.
So Brett's working this first point here with the jerk bait, and I'm over 35 feet, and we're seeing marks around 15 or so. I got a little pinch point in between these 2 points. See if we can pull some fish out. What species we got in terms of black bass here?
So we do have largemouth and spotted bass.
Okay.
This lake does have some blueback herring in it, so a lot of times a jerk bait or a top water this time of year can really do you right. Oh no.
Show me what he hit.
So we're throwing a little wake bait. Finally got one of these top water spots to commit. Came off on the way to the boat, but we're not giving up. We've seen some schooling fish, but they're mostly just individuals and very random. We did have one come up and hook up on the top water, but lost it on the way to the boat. So we are moving up the lake, getting into more of the largemouth territory. See if maybe that the bait has moved up the rivers and the largemouth will be active. So see what happens. One little spotted bass in the boat.
I switched over to the big worm, the mag fatties, and we're out on a point. I just let it soak pretty much. Ah, he's off. That was a good fish too. So this is what I'm throwing, and the Aztec on it really lifts up and gets their attention. So start of a pattern. drop shotting them.
I'm not supposed to catch largemouth. I'm supposed to catch spotted bass drop shotting.
Did you hear that, man? Alright, move to another. Stay down. Another point, very similar to the other one. I'm gonna bring him around. And we can mark them at on the depth finder at about 18 feet, 19 feet. And I literally dropped the mag fatties straight down off the back of the boat. Like, when I set the hook, it was straight up on this one. All right, feeling better about getting more bites. 18 feet deep. It's a summer pattern, even though it was, what was it, 39 degrees this morning.
Shot going down to that fish.
And you're on bottom.
Fish up on top about 55 feet out. You can see the fish followed my drop shot out. See him swimming there.
There's your spot on the shot.
We were just looking at these fish on Panoptics. So there's a few more fish sitting up on top. You can see them sitting here, about 20 feet deep. With the orientation to the bottom, figure those are bass, and that's where we just pulled that spot from.
So Brett, how many electric only tournament series you think there are in the state of Georgia?
Well, I would say in North and Central Georgia we easily have 20 different clubs. I know there are some in South Georgia that I'm not real familiar with, but we do have a big electric only community here in Georgia.
So what's your biggest fish you've caught this year in a tournament?
So I caught an 8.6 in the Electric Elite Classic this year. That is the biggest fish that I've weighed in, and the biggest fish that was weighed in that series this year.
What time of year and what'd you get it on?
That was during the summertime. I caught it on a swim jig.
Okay. How deep? What structure? What?
I actually caught it off of Panoptics. I didn't see the fish, but when I was fishing down a point and swung the trolling motor around, I saw a tree standing out there.
Right.
So I just fired my jig out and got to the bottom, started swimming it, and rod loaded up.
And you offer installation of Panoptics and other electronics. Tell me a little bit about that. What brands do you do installs on?
Yeah, I can get any brand of electronics, you know, Lowrance, Humminbird, Garmin, do Panoptics, any trolling motors, Torqeedos, of course.
And you'll do full boat builds. I mean, you did one, what, earlier this year? That
right,
was...
I built Senor Bass Fishing's boat from YouTube, and I've actually got a boat I'm building for a gentleman at the house right now, waiting on some parts to get in so I can get that one knocked out, as well as starting to build the inside of this one to get the inside to match the outside.
Right. So what kind of overhaul are you doing in the off season with this rig?
So I'm going to be taking the wood decks out of it, playing with the balance a little bit, see where I need to put the major components inside the boat to get the most speed and efficiency out of the hull.
Nice. So keep getting into this grass with this this one head that I've got the big worm on. You know, I got a couple to bite. It's mag shrooms, 3/8 ounce, but as much as it's burrowing in the grass, I want to change it over. I'm actually going to change color too. I think this one's Canada craw or California craw. but whatever, I got it on. That style head I think is going to do a better job pulling through that deep grass, and hopefully it'll look a little bit more enticing to them. This one feels pretty good, man. It has stayed down a while. That's on that, the one I changed to with that different head. Got down in that grass and how's that for a spot? I'm happy with it. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I put the net on him. Look inside the mouth and see if you can focus on what was left of what I had hooked him on. That tiny little flap, he was almost free. That easy. Man, glad he stayed on. So Brett, you've, I'm sure, evolved from that sort of rig where you got trolling motor on the back and one on the front. What's it mean to go to a, you know, a true electric outboard?
Oh, it's definitely a night and day difference. Of course, you get more speed with the lithium batteries. You get more run time. You don't have to figure in battery life as much during a tournament day as I did when I came to from the two trolling motors. In my opinion, you can only run an actual trolling motor wide open so long before it's burned up. Basically, it's not made to handle the heats it generates. It's made to get the vessel moving quickly and control it. It's not really made to move a boat over distance, where the Torqeedo is. You know, when I started electric only fishing, we ran trolling motors and lead batteries, and battery management was a big deal during the tournaments. You wanted to make sure that if you had that winning bag, that you could make it back to weigh-in. With the lead batteries, your power would start dropping off, and you could kind of sense when you were going to run out of battery power. With the Torqeedo and the lithium battery setup, you really don't experience that drop off, so it's really nice to have that range indicator to know how far you can go before you run out of battery at a certain speed. So here on the Torqeedo Throttle, it shows your battery percentage remaining, which is 88%, your current range, which would be 24 roughly, your current speed, which is 4.8, and your watts, which is 1779.
Just hopping the jackhammer like a jig. Get in there. And you got that rock face. Look at that. That rock face, I skipped the jackhammer up into that, and you pull it out maybe 3 or 4 feet, let it descend down to the bottom, sit there a second, and then that blade comes back up, and as soon as that came back up, he whacked it. It's all the way in there. But it's sort of, you know, it's jig fishing with the bladed jig, and not fishing it like you would fish a spinnerbait, where you cast it in and you bring it out and you run it over their head. They're not going to chase that. But where it goes and then drops right in front of them, you liked it, didn't you? Yes, I did. Okay. All right. Jackhammer like a jig. We'll get this nice fish back in there, get back to his little rocky spot. See ya.
We've had a great day on the water. Definitely hadn't really exposed what the Torqeedo is capable of, because we've been fishing smaller bodies of water, but we did catch a few fish, and time to head back to the boat ramp.